Varun, I have a project manager job interview tomorrow. What can I do? Which scheduling software should I use? I have never used any scheduling software in my life. What can I do? Please help. These are some of the many questions which I get in my day-to-day life. I always recommend my students to watch this Microsoft Project 2021 video and boom, you are at least set to answer those interview questions where they will be talking about the Microsoft project, and that too in less than 45 minutes. So let's go right into it. By the way, who am I? My name is Varun and I am the CEO and founder of Edu HubSpot, a training institute that has helped thousands of people to fulfill their dream in excelling their career in project management. To make best use of this video, I want you to pause this video, and in the description there is a link to download an exercise file. Now this exercise file I want you to download so that you can move along with my video for the best experience. Welcome back. I hope you downloaded the exercise file, but for now just keep it handy with you. I don't want you to do anything with it, for now at least. To explain Microsoft Project 2021, I will be using my secret technique. My secret technique is known as the escalators approach. Now, what is this escalators approach? I will be explaining you Microsoft Project 2021 using a step-by-step framework, and that too in less than 45 minutes. By the end of it, you will be considered as an expert beginner. Now, what is this expert beginner? An expert in the beginners category. My escalators approach is divided into 7 steps. Step number 1, set up your Microsoft Project 2021. Let's imagine you want to create a website. Now, in order to create a website, what is the first thing you will probably do? Probably just make sure that you have all the environment ready where you will do the coding. Let's say if you want to make it on WordPress, you will probably purchase a WordPress license, a very initial setup, right? So this particular step is all about the Microsoft Project 2021. So on my screen, you can see I have opened a blank, fresh Microsoft project file. So on the very top, the one in the green, this is known as your quick access toolbar. Now, what is a quick access toolbar? Whatever features, whatever things you see, you feel that they will be most commonly used, all you need to do is add those in the quick access toolbar so that you can go over there quickly. Let me give you an example. Let's say I like this respect on links a lot and I want this on the quick access toolbar. All I need to do is just right click on this and click on add to quick access toolbar. The moment I clicked add to quick access toolbar, you can see this option which is coming on the top. If you don't want to use it, just right click over it and click on remove from the quick access toolbar and it is gone. Then this ribbon which you see below your quick access toolbar, this is basically your main ribbon. Over here you can see the file. We'll go on the file, that is basically the backend view. Then we have the task, resources, we have the report column, what type of reports you want to use. Then we have the project file, the project tab, we have the view tab and help and the Gantt chart format. We can go over each one of them in detail at a later stage. Then at the bottom over here you see is how the task is scheduled. Are they auto scheduled? Are they manual scheduled? You can click on it and you can change it. I typically recommend people to just use the auto scheduled. This portion on your left which you see, this is where you will add your task, resources, add the predecessors. On the right, what you see, this is your Gantt chart view where a Gantt chart would be created. Okay. Then from the this particular section, you can go to any views which you like. I typically prefer the Gantt chart view with the timeline view. That is my personal favorite which I use. This is basically the timeline view which you see, but you can select any particular view, like this is the resource sheet. Resource sheet is where you will add all the resources. So this is your front end. Now a couple of things on the front end, but before I even talk about it, I will first go on the backend view. To go on the backend view, click on the file tab. Now over here you will see some some options like click on the info. On the right hand side, you will see like, what is the start date. Like in this case, you see the start dates of 2009. I can go ahead and change it to something more, something more recent. Let's say if I say today, and let me, instead of just today, I will go to, July. Let's start the project on 3rd of July. Okay, then you can see the finish date is 7/3 because it's a blank file, nothing is written. Then you can see schedule from, you can see the current date is today. Basically this is today, December 2023. You can see the status date is where you, the last your Microsoft project was updated, last modified, the calendar, what type of calendar you have the night shift, the 24 hours, what type, and then we have the priority also. For some of the projects, some of the tasks, you can actually increase the priority also. I'll show you all those things. Then in the info section, come below and click on the options. Now when you click on the options, you will have a file which popped up. Now a default view, if you want to change, if there is any particular view which you like the most, you can select any particular view from here. So whenever you will have Microsoft project open, you can have that particular view coming on default. Like right now you saw Gantt with timeline, because if you see, this is my Gantt chart and this was the timeline view. Then username, initials, nothing important. Then on the display side, okay, you can actually update the currency. If let's say you are working in euros, you can select euros or any other currency if you would like. Then this currency options for this project. So basically, are you doing it for the new project? Sometimes you will see that, oh, it is coming for the entire project also. So you will see all new projects also coming over here. Okay, in this case it is not, but sometimes it comes. Okay, now scheduling. Now for scheduling, same thing. Okay, as I'm mentioning, do I want to do it for all the files which I have in all Microsoft project? Like whenever I open a new file, do you want to do it for everything, or do I want to do it only for this particular file name? And this particular file name is new project which I have just added. You can have your own name. Then you can mention when does your week start? Does it start on Sunday? Does it start on Monday? Because if you know, in Middle East, Friday, Saturday is holiday. Not in Dubai, but in some of the Middle East countries, it's Friday, Saturday. For some countries, only Saturday is a holiday. So you can select from here when is the fiscal year starts. What is the time your day starts? 8 to 5 is typically an 8 hours. Sometimes people 8 hours is like total 8 hours of working with with 1 hour of lunch break. That's how it is, because 8 to 5 is total 9 hours. So you did 9 minus 1. Then new task created. Do you want to have new task created and manually scheduled or auto scheduled? I typically make it auto scheduled. That's what it is. Auto scheduled is should it start from the project. So if you add a new task, should it start from the project start date, or should it start from the current date? I typically do the project start date. That's how it is. You want to enter the duration in days, minutes, hours, months. So you can have all those. Days is typically the most common. Work is entered in default task type, fixed units. I can go into detail about, but this is a typical long section which I have explained in my detailed video. Then you can scroll down. Calculation options, updating the resource status, all this I think is fine. Nothing. Then you can go on the advanced section. Do you need to do anything in the advanced section? I think everything looks good on the advanced section as well. Okay, now one thing on the advanced section which I want you to update. See this option where it says calculate multiple critical tasks. Make sure that calculate multiple critical tasks is selected. I always want that because if your particular project has multiple critical paths, and I'll explain you what critical path is later, but if you have, then you want Microsoft project to let you know. So make sure this is turned on, and I think rest everything is good. You can make changes to quick access toolbar also and click on OK. Now my backend is ready. Now on the front end, you can go on the project and you can click on the change working time. Now change working time. Now what do I mean by that? Over here, if you want to set up some kind of holidays or exceptions, you can, in the exceptions section, you can actually enter a holiday. Let's say, I want to say Christmas is on, so click over here. I want to say Christmas is on 25th December, right? So let me pick and let me say 25th of December. So I click and I click OK. So now Christmas is on. So now Microsoft project knows that, on this particular day is a Christmas holiday. So they will consider that as a non-working day. You can add all your, holidays over here. Then what else? You can also talk about, 24 hours, night shift, different calendars also. You can add that. You can create your own calendar also if needed. And I think then work weeks also you can mention about, by default it's coming 8 to 12, 12 to 1 is lunch, and 1 to 5, but you can enter any information over here about the work weeks as well. Okay, click on OK. Step number 2, define task and activity for your project. Like for instance, for your website development project, what are the different things? You need to have different steps required, right? Like the requirements gathering step, then the development of those pages step, then the testing of those pages step. So a step by step, this is where we will do it. So let's go right into it. So now the exercise file which you have downloaded from the link which I gave you, I want you to open that up. I want you to copy the links which you see. Okay, let me Control A, Control C, and I'll just do a Control D. Okay, now I have actually added the task name also. Let me delete that task name also. Now I didn't want you to manually enter the task names, but you can actually manually enter the task names also if you want to, but I just wanted to, for the interest of time, I did a copy paste over here. Now few things which you see, it's like the duration is coming as 1. Like by default it gives you a question mark which says that, hey, are you sure this is a 1-day task or 2 days? You can actually manually type in, let's say I would say it's a 5-day task. So if you type in 5 days, it will show you that it's a 5 days and the question mark is done. Okay, if you do Control Z, it will go back to the previous what it is. Control Z is basically undo. Okay, now let's quickly, I show you few things. Now the one which you see, home page, about us page, contact us page, these are known as your summary task. And all of the tasks which are below this, it's basically I always use this father child theory, so they are the children of the summary task. So summary task is home page and all these are the children. I want to make sure that this home page is considered to be a summary task. Now how do I do it? Okay, now over here you see an option which is known as intent task. The moment you click on the intent task, you see that all these are coming under home page now. So if I click on this arrow mark, that is gone, and this, so this shows that your home page is basically your summary task. Now I want you to repeat the same steps for all of the other options also, like about us. Okay, hover over here and click on, okay, then contact us and done, then in testing, okay, and click on this. So this is done, and finally this is your deployment task. So you click, so all of this is now I want to make sure that this website homepage is basically the main. So I can actually outdent the task this oops, sorry. So basically what I want you to do is I want you to select all of the summary tasks and click on indent tasks. The reason why I did it is because I wanted to show that this is a website development project, and that's that is like the main headline of your project. Now I want to show you how to add a milestone. A milestone is of 0 duration. So basically, like in homepage we have 4 tasks. We have the homepage layout design, code the homepage, then code the functionality to add and edit, and finally homepage design complete. So your homepage design complete is a milestone task, which means, what is a milestone task? A milestone task is of 0 duration. So whatever milestones you see, just mention 0 so that it shows that it's a milestone chart. But on the right, if you see, it says October 409, right? But our project is starting on July 3. This was the date which we selected last time, right? So I want to I want to see my Gantt chart view also. Now how can I do that? Okay, let me just first make it 1 again. Now I want to see the task on my Gantt chart view. Do you see this option where it says scroll to task? I want you to click on that scroll to task. Now the moment you click on the scroll to task, on the right over here, you see all the tasks coming, everything is starting on July 3. That's why, it's like that. Now see the magic. First of all, scroll to task is something which I very commonly use. So I want you to add this to your quick access toolbar. Whatever buttons, whatever fields which you use the most commonly, make sure you add it to your quick access toolbar. So I added this to quick access toolbar. So next time if I need to scroll to task, I will just click on this link and I will go there. Okay. Now, let's come back to the milestone chart. I want you to go back and click, make all the tasks which are the milestones to do it as 0 duration. So I'll add the duration as 0, but see the magic. The moment I'll add the duration as 0, see on the right what will happen to this. See, the rectangular bar changed into a diamond. Diamond shows that it's actually a symbol of milestone. I want you to add the 0 duration for all the milestones. Okay, so for about us page I did, then for contact us page I'd added, then for testing complete added. Okay, for testing complete I did it, and finally for the complete deployment I will add it as well. Okay, so all these are my milestones now. Okay, now I want to show you basically the predecessor column. What is a predecessor column? Predecessor column is what is the relationship between different tasks, right? The most commonly or by default, the relationship which is used is finish to start. Let's say I'm saying that all of these 4 tasks have a relationship, like they are dependent on one thing. Like for example, you cannot code the home page until the design is ready, right? You need to first know the homepage design, then only you can code it. And once you can code it, then only you can add a functionality to edit or make changes to that finally, right? So all of these tasks, and once all these 3 tasks are complete, then only your homepage design will be complete, correct? So select all of these tasks, I'm using a keyboard, and you see the link the selected task. Click on this option which says link the selected task. Now this shows that all of these tasks are linked, has finish to start relationship, and this is the by default. Just do one thing, just add random durations or whatever duration you feel that this page will take. So I'm just adding random durations for now. Okay, so 2, 6, 3, I'm just 7 I said. I just randomly add any duration. I'm just not seeing it at all. Okay, 2, okay, oh, I think not just this. Okay, now this is perfect. Okay, so we defined the relationships also, right? Same thing, I want you to define the relationship between these. So click on the link. So this is done, and I want to say that there is a link between homepage design and about it. Like first the homepage design will complete, and then only the about us. There's no relation like that, but I'm just making a relationship, to be honest. You can add any relationship of that sort if you want to. Then I can actually say that the contact us page and the about us page, both of those are actually, they both can start at the same time. So I can create a start to start relationship between them. So I can do that. Look, but for now, let me first give I'll show you all how that is done also. But for now, let's just add a finish to start relationship in all. Okay, finish to start, you click on link, and finally deploy the new website, you click on link. Okay, now go no go decision is dependent on testing complete, so you click on the link and contact us and test. So this is how you define a, oops, not split, I did wrong, my bad. Okay, did I complete everything? Homepage layout design. Okay, I think everything is done. Perfect. So now on the right you can see the Gantt chart view, right? Now if you want to go to any task, like for example, if you are on test the website and you don't see anything on this is where that scroll to task. The moment you click on the scroll to task, you can see the task over here. So this is how you define the predecessors. Okay, next section is your resource sheet, resource names. You want to add resources. So before we add the resources, I want to show the different types of relationships actually. So what you can do over here, let's say you double click on this. Okay, there are multiple ways you can come to this tab. This is your task information. I double clicked and I did it. You can also right click and click on information. That's another way you can do it. Now click on the predecessor. So now code the home page is a predecessor, it has a predecessor task of homepage layout design, which means first the homepage layout design needs to be complete, then only you can start the coding, right? Over here you see the type of relationship which is finish to start. Over here you can change and you can add the multiple types of relationships. Like if you say that both of these tasks have start to start, both of these have finish to finish, so you can make those changes over here. Okay, let me but before I do that, I want to show you something. Okay, let's click, let me scroll to task. Okay, now see the magic over here. How this is currently like one after the other, but if I say, and I want you to see on the right, if I say this is start to start, okay, and I click OK, now see how this is being shown. This is start to start relationship. Okay, now if I say that code the home page, code the about page as, okay, but before I do that, I want you to scroll to task. Okay, I want you to see the magic here. Okay, same thing. Now if I do, instead of finish to start, I say this is finish to finish and I click OK. So now you see this is finish to finish. So this is how you change a relationship. You can, define all the different types of relationships over here. If you want to add leads and lag, you can do that also. Let me show you how to add the leads and lag. But before I do that, let me just do it. Okay, on the next one actually. Let's do this one. Okay, now I want to show you how to add the lead and lag, right? Same thing. Go to the predecessor tab and over here you see lag, right? What is a lag? Lag is a waiting time, like between two tasks there is some kind of lag. And what is a lead? Lead is a jump start. In my detailed video I've explained you like all these relationships and I've explained you leads and lag in much more detail. Over here I'm just trying to show you how to add leads and lag. Okay, so if I want to say that this has a lag of 2 days, I can manually type 2 or I can click on this button to do it as well. So I will just say 2 days. So the moment I said 2, you can see there is a gap between these two tasks. So there's a gap between, this means there is a lag of 2 days. Now if I want to say this, that bug fixes has it has a lead of if I want, so this is how lag was represented, but I want to show there is a lead also. The moment you click on it shows -2. A lead is shown with a negative. So the moment you click over here, you can see that how this is coming. It says 18 FS -2 days, okay, which is a lead. A lag is a 2 plus sign. Okay. Step number 3, creating and assigning resources. Like your website will be designed by a software engineer, like a UI UX designer, but it will be tested by a tester. So these are two different people, right? So now in this particular step, we will be assigning the resources on the task which we have defined previously. Now I want to show you how to add resources. There are different ways you can assign resources. Either you can assign resources directly over here. You can write that homepage layout design would be done by, let's say, UI UX resource. Okay, so like you can write UX resource. Okay, let me show you. Scroll to task, you can see UI UX resource. That's one way you can write it over here. Or the best way, to be honest, if you ask me, is to go to your resource sheet. The moment you go on your resource sheet, this is where you can actually document and mention all of your resources over here, like UI UX resources. You can also talk about a project manager, right? Project manager. Okay, you will also have a sponsor, right? You can have a sponsor over here. You can have a tester over here. Then let's say that and it's also like what type of resources. Let's say you want to have material resources, like you will be using a laptop on your project, like laptop. So that's your material resources. So all you need to do is change the type to material resources. Now material is like, a cost which is accrued. Then you have what else? Airfare. Okay, airfare. Okay, airfare is like, let's say for a particular meeting you will be traveling to, a location. So there is of course an airfare involved. Let's say this is your cost resources. So cost resources, you can mention a cost resource also. Okay, material is something which is consumable, which is like laptop and other things, and cost is like, for which you actually pay a cost for something. Okay, then over here you see a standard rate and overtime rate, which means you can, let's say a UI resource is like $100 and overtime rate is, let's say, 50 hours. Okay, then a project manager's is, let's say, 150 hours and overtime is, let's say, 75 hours. Okay, sponsor is basically the big boss. Big boss is, let's say, $200 and overtime is 100. Tester is, let's say, $75 and let's say $30 or $20, $30. Okay, let's say the cost of my laptop is fixed is $1,000, and airfare cost resources are applied in a different way, and that is directly on the Gantt chart. I'll show you how that is done. Then you can accrue. You have start, prorated, end. Start is when the cost is at the start. Prorate is how you are. Let's say if you're doing 10 hours, then that's how the cost will be calculated, and if end means that it is calculated at the end. So you can select any options. By default it's prorated. I typically keep it prorated. But for material and cost resources, I change it sometime at the start, sometimes at the end. It just depends from situation to situation. Okay, now let's go back to our Gantt chart view. Now code the home page. Who will do the home page? It's actually these, the software engineer. I forgot to mention the software engineer. Let me just go back to resource sheet and we will have a developer. Okay, I think it's the word software engineer is better. Software engineer. Okay, that's a work resource, and let's say software engineer is working at same $100 per hour and $50. Okay, now let's go back to our Gantt chart view. Okay, who will code the home page? Home page, let's say I want to do. So I can just type in SO and automatically it will show you software engineer. Another way, home page design complete. It's a milestones chart. You really don't need to assign any resource on a milestone. If you want, you can actually add, let's say, a sponsor on the milestone also if you want to. Okay, then about page layout design. Let's say for the about us page, sponsor is very interested to see, but at the same time you want the project manager also to look into it, right? So sponsor, and you can put a comma and you can do project managers. So now in this case, both the sponsor and project manager are responsible for it. Another way of how you can select is from the drop down, you select and you can select a option from here also. That's one way of doing it. Another code functionality to add and edit. Let's say I'm just randomly saying, you can double click over here and from your information you can actually mention the resource over here also. That's one way of doing it. Okay, sponsor. Okay, so there are just different ways you can do it. Okay, I'll just copy it and okay, home page design complete. Actually, I wanted to say that home page design complete is over here, and code functionality to add and edit, it's also software engineer, and I would say, let's say software engineer and project manager's job. Project manager. Okay, perfect. Now if you see that a red a person coming, I'm going to show you later what this is, but now this is how it is. Let me just copy the same resources. I copied the same resources. The contactors also I copied the same. Testing the website, I will add a tester over here. Bug fixes will be done by software engineer. Finding testing will be done by tester. Testing complete, let's say sponsor. Typically you don't assign any resource on a milestone, but if you want to do it, you can do it. Okay, go no go decision. Let's say it is the job of sponsor. Deploy the new website. That's software engineer. Launch service software engineer. Website project complete. This is PM. is job, and again it's a milestone series. So this is how you assign resources, multiple way of assigning resources. Step number 4, adjusting and fine tuning the project schedule. Now in this particular step, when you allocate the resources, there may be a situation where you accidentally over allocated the resources. This is where we will resolve that. Now, as I was telling you before, you see a red color, like this shows like now I want to, adjust my, if there are any issues and things like that, like this is an issue, like I am over allocating a resource. So basically what you need to do is, if you right click on any error which you see the top option which says fix in task inspector. This is very, very important. If you click on this, the task inspector shows you what exactly the error is, and it also shows you how you can resolve that particular error. Like you can move the task to the next available date, or you can actually, if you click on view over allocated resource, like shows that the software engineer is over allocated. So what we can do is we can hire more software engineers, because if the task is happening at the same time. So you can resolve it over here also. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'm gonna go to a resource sheet, and it says that it's over allocated. Now it shows 100%, the maximum available. Let's say I have 2 software engineers, so I will say 200%. Now 200% shows that I am having 2 software engineers with me. So that's how 200% is. Now if I go back, you can see, let me just close the task inspector, that there is no, so because I had 2 software engineers over here. So both can work parallelly. Step number 5, monitoring and updating the project. Now in this particular step, your senior management may come to you and ask you, what is the status on your project? How would you tell them? This is where you will learn. This is where you will define the baselines. So basically, now I'm monitoring my project, right? Now, my senior management came to me and they were talking about, Varun, show me the project, what is the project baseline. So in this particular task, we can actually set the baseline. So you see, when you click on the project option, you see this option set baseline. Click on the set baseline option, and it will, Microsoft project will allow you to add 10 baselines on your project. So you can select the, by default you can either you can show the baseline only for a particular task, or you can actually show the baseline for the entire. I typically do it for the entire project. So the moment you click the baseline, so we have a baseline now which is set up for the entire project. So I'll show you the baseline has been set. When you click on the set baseline again, you can see that it gave me the date when the baseline was last saved. Okay, so this is how a baseline is set. You can actually clear the baseline also by selecting the clear baseline option. So that's how a baseline is set. Now you can also show the progress reporting, like how the project is the work complete or not, right? You can add a new column, let's say percentage complete. This shows that how much work is complete. Like for example, I said the homepage design is complete. Okay, so 100. Let's say everything is complete. So this shows that my homepage design is complete. Everything is 100%. Let's do an about us pages like 56, 35, 23, and let's say about us page complete is 10%. So for now I have shown it like this. Okay, rest, let's say I have not started it yet. This is known as your progress reporting. So the more you progress ahead, this is how you can update your Microsoft project to show the project progress. Step number 6, project reporting. Your senior management is back again, and now they want to see some kind of dashboard report. They want to see, are you under budget or over budget? They want to see, are you behind or ahead of schedule? This is where we will tell them. Now your management would be very interested in seeing the reports. It's very simple. You just need to click on the report, and Microsoft project has already created some custom reports for you. You can go to the dashboard report, and you can see it's a burn down, cost over, a project overview. So the moment you click on the project overview, it will show you that your project is 28% complete. It will show you some late tasks which are going on, what is the status, and it will show you the project which is complete, like what particular portion is complete. So this is how you can see you can select a different report also. Let's say I will show you a cost report, actually a cost overview report. It will show you that you have this much remaining cost with you. This is the cost which you have already spent. This can show you the progress versus the cost, and you can see a cost report as well. Once again, all the reports are over here, and you can select a custom report also if you want to. You can see visual reports also if you want to. Okay, simple. Let's go back to our task sheet. On the top, I didn't actually talk about the timeline view. You can actually add tasks on the timeline view also. So right click, and you see an option add to timeline. You can select and it will show you the home page design timeline. You can actually add a summary task also to the timeline. So you can click over here and you can see a timeline. Okay, now if you want to see the critical path, right, you can actually see the critical path also. You click on the view option and highlight. You can use the highlight to show you the critical path. So everything, whatever is in the yellow color, that is your critical path. Okay, you can see, let's see. So this is on your right. You can see all the critical path task also. Okay, you can also outline if you want to see only like in as per your WBS, the different levels. You can actually see the different level also. Let's say if I just want to see level 1, so it will show you level 1. If you want to see level 2, so it will show you all the level 2 also. If you want to see the the minute level, which is level 3, you can see the also. You can use what else? If you don't want to see the timeline view, you just need to select that and the timeline view would be gone. I typically like the timeline, so I keep it. Yeah, let me just remove the highlight so that it's neat and clean. And finally, the last step is project closing. Once everything is finished, you want to check the status of the project. You want to give a green signal to your team that great job guys, you did it well. This is where you will do it. Now in project closing, I want to show that my entire project is complete. All you need to do is just make sure everything, you mark everything to be 100%, just to show the project progress, and everything would be complete. You think your project complete. Okay. So that's it. So once your work is complete, you can actually go back to your reports and you can see the project overview report. You can see, it was 100% complete. You can actually see the cost report also, how your project did, your cost overview report. It can remaining 100% complete. So it can show you that aspect as well. I explained Microsoft Project 2021 using my 7 steps escalators approach. I hope you liked my escalators approach, but let me reiterate my 7 steps in my escalators approach. Step number 1, set up your Microsoft Project 2021. Step number 2, define task and activity for your project. Step number 3, create and assign resources. Step number 4, adjusting and fine-tuning the project schedule. Step number 5, monitoring and updating the project. Step number 6, project reporting. And lastly, step number 7, project closing. I hope you liked my video on mastering Microsoft Project 2021 in less than 45 minutes. But this was just a trailer of the full movie which is in front of you. So basically, I gave you a very high level overview so that you can be ready for your interview. But if you really want to know in and out about Microsoft Project 2021, then I have created a full-fledged detailed course about this, where I will be using my hands-down approach, where I will show you step by step using an example, explain everything in detail so that you can watch along with me, learn, make your own project schedule. And on top of that, nobody has done this yet. Nobody has simply done this, which I have done it, which is that I will be giving you homework assignments where you yourself will be creating a full-fledged project schedule at your end. And on top of that, I have given a video explanation for those homework assignments as well. And I have got thousands of emails, reviews from people all over the world that this is the best course they have ever done to learn Microsoft Project. So if you are interested, click on the link below in the description to go ahead and be part of Edu HubSpot family. Just in case if you learned something valuable, please click on the like, subscribe and share this video with your friends, colleagues. Tell YouTube that this is one of the best video, and how would YouTube know? When you actually like and comment on this video. So please don't forget to do that, and please, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly at varun.anand@eduhubspot.com. I personally reply to each and every email I get. So I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.